These are the statutes and the judgments which you shall observe to do in the land which the Lord thy God of thy fathers giveth you to possess it all the days that you live upon the earth. You shall utterly destroy all the places wherein the nations that you possess serve other gods, upon the high mountains and upon the hills and upon every green tree. And you shall overthrow their altars and break their pillars and burn their groves with fire. And you shall hoe down the graven images of their gods and destroy the names of them out of that place. You shall not do unto the Lord your God, but you unto the place which the Lord your God has chose out of all the tribes to put his name there, even into his habitation shall you seek, and there you shall come. And thither you shall bring your burnt offerings and your sacrifices and your tithes and heave offerings of your hand and of your vows, of your freewill offerings, and of the firstlings of your herds and of your flocks. And there you shall eat before the Lord your God, and you shall rejoice in all that you put your hand unto, and your household therein. And the Lord thy God has blessed you. You shall not do after all the things that we do here in this day, where every man whatsoever is right in his own eyes. For ye are not as yet come to the rest, to your inheritance, which the Lord your God had given you. But when you go over the Jordan and dwell in the land which the Lord your God giveth you to inherit, and when he giveth you rest from all your enemies round about, so you will dwell in safety. Then there shall be a place which the Lord your God shall choose to cause his name to dwell there. Thither shall you bring all that I command you, your burnt offerings and your sacrifices, your tithes, and the heave offerings of your land, and all the choice vows which you vow to the Lord. And you shall rejoice before the Lord, you and your sons and your daughters and your men servants and your maid servants, and the Levite that is within your gates, for as much as he have no part nor inheritance with you. Take heed to thyself that thou offer not thy burnt offerings in every place that thou see, but in the place which the Lord shall choose in one of the tribes. There you shall offer the burnt offerings, and there shall you do what I command you. Notwithstanding thou mayest kill and eat flesh at all thy gates, whatever thy soul lusteth after, according to the blessings of the Lord which he has given you. The unclean and the clean may eat thereof, as of the roebuck and as of the hart. Only you shall not eat the blood. You shall not eat the blood. You shall pour it upon the earth as water. Thou mayest not eat within the gates of the tithe thy corn, or thy wine, or thy oil, of the firstlings of the herds or of the flock, or any of the vows which thou vowest, nor the freewill offerings or heave offerings of thine hand. But thou must eat them before the Lord thy God in the place which the Lord thy God has chosen, thou, and thy son and thy daughter, and thy manservants and thy maidservants, and the Levite that is within the gates. And thou shalt rejoice before the Lord thy God in all that thou puttest thine hands to. Take heed to thyself that thou forsake not the Levite as long as thou livest on the earth. When the Lord thy God shall enlarge thy border as he has promised you, and thou shalt say, I will eat flesh, because my soul longeth to eat flesh, they may eat flesh, whatsoever thy soul lusteth after. If the place which the Lord thy God hath chosen to put his name there be too far from you, then thou shalt kill thy herd of thy flock which the Lord hath given you, that I commanded you, and thou shalt eat it in thy gates, whatever thy soul lusteth after. Even as the roebuck and the hart is eaten, so thou shalt eat them. The unclean and the clean shall eat them of alike. Only be sure that thou eat not the blood, for the blood is in the life, and thou may not eat the life with the flesh. If thou not eat it, thou shalt pour it on the earth as water. Thou shalt not eat it, that it may go well for thee, and with thy children after thee, when thou shalt do what is right in the sight of the Lord. Only thy holy things which thou hast, and thy vows which thou shalt take, shall go to the place which the Lord shall choose. And thou shalt offer thy burnt offering, the flesh and the blood, upon the altar of the Lord thy God. And the blood of thy sacrifices shall be poured out upon the altar of the Lord thy God, and thou shalt eat the flesh. Observe and hear all you things of the words which I command thee, that it may go well for thee with thy children and after thee forever. When thou doest what is good in the right, but that is good and right in the sight of the Lord thy God. When the Lord thy God shall cut off nations from before you, whither thou goest to possess them, and thou succeedest them and dwell in their land. Take heed to thyself that thou be not snarled by following them, after them that be destroyed from thee, and thou inquire not after their gods, saying, how did these nations serve their gods? Even so will I do likewise. Thou shalt not do so unto the Lord thy God, for every abomination to the Lord which he hateth have they done to their gods. For even their sons and their daughters they have burnt in the fire to their gods. What things soever I command you, observe to do it. Thou shalt not add therefore, nor diminish from it.